The strangest kind of burnout is the one that still looks responsible. You wake up, you check your phone, you answer the message, you join the meeting, you say the thing you are supposed to say, you get the work done, you pay the bills, you look fine. And that is exactly why nobody notices. Because this kind of burnout does not always look like falling apart. Sometimes, it looks like being reliable. It looks like having a stable job, a decent income, a calendar full of meetings, and a life that makes sense on paper. But somewhere inside, something has gone quiet. Not peaceful, not rested, just empty. And that emptiness can be confusing because nothing dramatic has happened. You are not failing. You are not losing everything. You may even have the life you once hoped for. A job people respect, a title that sounds good, a routine, health insurance, rent paid, groceries in the fridge, a future that looks safe enough. So when your mind feels blank, distant, or strangely numb, you may not know what to call it. You may think, I should be grateful. And maybe you are, but gratitude does not cancel exhaustion. You can be grateful and still tired, safe and still empty, successful and still feel like you are slowly disappearing from your own life. That is the quiet crisis of the stable job and the empty mind. It usually does not arrive all at once. At first, stability feels like rescue. Maybe in your 20s, all you wanted was to stop feeling uncertain. You wanted a job that made sense, a paycheck that showed up, a role that made your family stop worrying, a life that proved you were not falling behind. So you worked hard, you said yes, you stayed late, you became dependable, and for a while, it felt good. The praise felt good, the money helped, the title meant something. The calendar made your life feel organized. Being useful gave you a place in the world. But slowly, the thing that once made you feel safe begins to make you feel trapped. The work becomes familiar, but not alive. The meetings get easier, but less meaningful. The problems change names, but not shapes. Another email, another update, another deadline, another small fire that has to be handled before anyone notices smoke. And at some point, you realize you have become very good at a life that no longer feels like yours. This is where modern burnout gets dangerous. Because people often confuse your ability to function with your ability to feel alive. If you keep replying, they assume you are fine. If you keep delivering, they assume you have energy. If you do not complain, they assume nothing is wrong. And eventually, you start believing the same thing. You think, if I can still do it, I must be okay. But functioning is not the same as living. A person can answer emails with an empty mind. A person can meet deadlines with a tired body. A person can keep succeeding long after the success has stopped feeling real. This is not always burnout from too much work. Sometimes it is burnout from too little meaning, too little honesty, too little space to be a real person instead of a role, too little connection between who you are and the life you keep maintaining. That is why the weekend does not always fix it. You tell yourself, I just need Friday. Then Friday comes, and you are too drained to enjoy it. You tell yourself, I just need this project to end. Then it ends, and another one appears. You tell yourself, I just need things to slow down. Then they slow down for a moment, and your body still feels tense, as if it does not trust the silence. So you scroll, you eat something, you watch something, you open your laptop and forget why. You read the same sentence 5 times. You sit in a meeting and watch your own face nod on the screen, almost like someone else is wearing you. That is one of the most unsettling parts of this kind of burnout. It is not panic, it is numbness. You are not exploding, you are fading. And because fading is quiet, people may even praise it. You are so calm. You are so professional. You never let things get to you. But sometimes, that calm is not peace, it is distance. It is your mind turning down the volume because feeling everything would make it harder to keep going. At some point, emptiness becomes a survival strategy. If you do not want too much, you cannot be too disappointed. If you do not feel too much, you can keep performing. If you do not ask yourself what you really want, you can get through another day. And maybe this started long before the job. Maybe you learned that being responsible made you safe. Maybe you learned that being useful made you loved. Maybe you learned that needing less made you easier to deal with. So, you made a quiet deal with life. I will be dependable, and in exchange, I will be secure. I will be impressive, and in exchange, I will be valued. I will not ask for too much, and in exchange, I will not become a burden. That deal can help you survive. It can build a career. It can make you disciplined. It can make other people proud. But every survival strategy has a cost when it becomes your whole identity. The same mask that once protected you can become the thing that keeps you trapped. Maybe your mask is competence. You know how to sound okay. You know how to sit through one more meeting. You know how to make exhaustion look like focus. You know how to say, no problem, when something inside you is already gone. But the quiet truth is harder to say. I do not know if I want this life anymore. And that sentence can feel almost forbidden, because your life is not terrible. You are not ungrateful. You are not broken. You are just starting to notice that the life you built for safety may not have enough room for your aliveness, the curious part of you, the playful part, the angry part, the creative part, the part that does not want to be useful all the time, the part that wants to be more than a job title, more than a calendar, more than a professional face on a screen. Modern work rewards the parts of you that can be measured: output, speed, availability, responsiveness, consistency. But the human parts are harder to measure: meaning, rest, wonder, connection, freedom, the feeling that your days still belong to you. When those things disappear, your life can still look successful from the outside, but inside, something begins to starve. And the moment you notice it is usually quiet. Maybe you close your laptop one evening and just sit there. The room is still, your phone is buzzing, but you do not pick it up. For a few seconds, nobody needs anything from you. No task, no answer, no decision. And in that silence, you realize you do not know what you want to do. Not because you have no options, because you have lost contact with wanting. You could watch something, call someone, cook, go outside, rest. But everything feels far away. And then the thought appears. This is not just tiredness. This is absence. That is the turning point. Not a breakdown, not a dramatic escape. Just the first honest name for what has been happening. Because once you notice the emptiness, you cannot fully unnotice it. And maybe that is not a bad thing. Maybe emptiness is not always telling you to destroy your life. Maybe it is telling you to return to it, to return as yourself. Not only as the role that survived, the way back does not always begin with quitting your job. Sometimes it begins with one honest sentence: I am not fine in the way people think I am fine. It begins with noticing where your body says no while your mouth says yes. It begins with asking what drains you the most, not what looks hardest from the outside. It begins with asking when you last felt real interest in something. Not achievement, not approval. Interest. A small spark that belongs to you. Because you do not recover from emptiness by becoming more efficient at the life that emptied you. You recover by becoming honest about what that life has been costing you. Maybe that means setting a boundary where you used to disappear. Maybe it means letting good enough be good enough. Maybe it means no longer treating every request like an emergency. Maybe it means rebuilding a life outside the place that measures you. Friendships where you do not have to be useful. Rest that does not need to be earned. Hobbies that do not become side hustles. Silence that is not immediately filled with a screen. And slowly, something starts to come back. At first, it may not feel peaceful. It may feel like irritation. Then grief. Grief for the years spent on autopilot. Grief for the younger version of you who thought achievement would finally bring peace. Grief for the dreams you did not lose in one dramatic failure, but slowly traded away for safety. And under that grief, there may be something smaller and more honest. A wish. I want my mornings back. I want to feel proud of my work again. I want to stop being available all the time. I want to remember who I am when I am not being useful. That is where life starts to return. Not in the fantasy of escaping everything, but in the first honest movement toward yourself. A stable life is not the same as a full life. A good job is not the same as a meaningful existence. Being needed is not the same as being known, and functioning is not the same as living. So if your job is stable but your mind feels empty, maybe the question is not whether you should be grateful. Maybe you already are. Maybe the emptiness is not proof that you are broken. Maybe it is a message from the parts of you that have been quiet for too long. A message saying, I helped you survive, but now I need you to come back. Because the goal was never just to build a life that looks stable from the outside. The goal was to build a life where you could still feel yourself living inside it.